Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you why data is important for understanding your game. So we put ClaudeCraft on the glitch to play. It's open source. And into ClaudeCraft, we installed our event and funnel technology. And we did this simply by copying and pasting this into our LLM. And what this gave is a lot of data results. First, starting with the session durations, we can understand how many players are playing a certain amount of time inside the game. So 0 to 1 minute means that there was something wrong with loading the game. If this is your largest column, you have something wrong with the game's initial loading process, the start screen. Something needs fixing there. But for this game in ClaudeCraft, most players play between 1 to 5 minutes. And this means they are actually evaluating the game here and really starting to assess if they're going to play it or not. So let's find out what's happening between this 1 to 5 minute mark here. So I'm going to go over to the behavior funnel. And first, we have these auto-created funnels, in which are basically telling us how people are flowing through the game, and then where are the major drop-off points here. So here we can see they're making it into the world map, and about 62 players. If we started at 255 players, 62 players are actually making it to the level 1 stage of entering the game. So there's a drop off somewhere between the world loading and this actual players getting started. So next I'm going to flip over to the core progression. Let's see what's going on here. And here, from player stats make the level 1, 167 players. We have only 24 players reach level 2 in the game, and then only 4 players reach level 3, and only 1 player has reached level 4. So the game is saying that this is not quite sticky yet for this kind of volume of users. So let's figure out, where they're falling off between level 1. So we're actually going to progress to the first quest that we have in the game, the Wolves quest. So when I first get in the Claude quest, one of the first quests that pops up is Wolves at the door. So when I click on the Wolves quest, it tells me that I must slay at least 8 wolves, and then I can accept the quest and actually go out and fight like that person is actively doing right now. It's awesome to actually see people actually play the game and have fun. So let's get back to the data though. So let's look at this flow map here. We have the Wolves detail page, the Wolves accepted, the Wolves progressed, and then people that have actually completed the quest. 32 players have viewed the quest. 24 players have actually accepted the quest, and from that, 12 players did not complete it, and only another 12 players actually completed the quest. So what can be going wrong to have this big drop off from viewing and accepting, and then it progresses, and then not many people complete? So we have this drop off that we are seeing here from viewing the quest to actually completing it. Okay, so the first issue, people not progressing on the quest. So when you progress, that means you at least have killed 1 wolf. Except when someone accepts the quest, there's nothing on the map that says where the wolf is. So then as the player, I'm now tasked of having to go out and figure out where the wolves actually are. This can be a major friction point for players who want to move on to the next part of the other quest. Second is the amount of wolves that you have to kill. Alright, so it took me about 30 seconds, about to a minute to kill 1 wolf, and that's 1. I now have to do 7 of these. 8 of these could be a large number for a player, and can actually become really repetitive. So that could be the second reason for why we're seeing this data here, where we're seeing people who are accepting the quest not knowing where to go to actually complete the quest, and when they do progress on the quest, 8 just feels like a high number. Now, the suggestions I'm giving to fix the drop-off is hypothetical. The data is not. The data shows where the clear drops-off are, but because we have those clear drop-offs, we can go into the game and then come up with hypotheses of why people are dropping, and then what we can actually do to improve the game rather than guessing and going on gut feel. And this is how data can really alter the way that you develop your game. Alright, so one of the tests that I made is I changed the number of wolves to kill from 8 to 3, and then I let this time pass by. We now have 90 people who have started the quest. 88 have accepted. And then if we go down now to the who's completed and who's not completed, remember before it was 12 and 12 of completing versus not completing, so 50-50. Now we have 42 players completing the quest, and we have 27 players not completing the quest. So the change has had a seemingly positive impact on the number of people who are actively now completing the quest, and I was able to do this just based upon the data that we have been collecting. This is why you want to have data. It allows you to make better educated hypothesis on how to actually fix your game. And often you can then measure those results to see if they're having an impact, and if they are, those small changes can have game-wide improvements for how players interact with your game.